Okay guys, today we are talking about Doordash.
Yo, what's up, Love and Hustle family? I'm Thomas.
I'm Taryn.
And we're the couple that hustles. Today, what we're going to talk about?
The top 4 reasons we hate DoorDash.
So, we're talking about DoorDash today. And we're going to go with 4 reasons why we just don't like it. So, primarily, Taryn did it. And I was kind of her, sidekick. I was kind of the Robin to her Batman. So I'm going to kind of let her lead it off and lead through these things. And I kind of, assist in those. So Tara, what was the number one thing that you didn't like about DoorDash?
Yeah, so before we do that, we got to tell them what DoorDash is.
We got to tell them what DoorDash is.
So if you don't know what DoorDash is, it's like any of the number of food delivery services. It's not like the old school Domino's type of delivery services. Yeah. Everything is basically done on an app. So whether you're the customer or if you're the driver, everything's done through that. Payment, all that good stuff. So just kind of like Uber Eats, Grubhub, Postmates, that type of thing. So if you want to know a little bit more information about it or check out the demo of us doing it, just click the link below and we'll put it on the side so you can watch that.
Yeah.
So now,
Taryn, tell us the number one thing you don't like when you was doing DoorDash.
So the absolute number one thing I did not like, pet peeve number 1, was the fact of the wait time when you got to the restaurant. The whole premise of it was to dash, to kind of jump in, jump out, get the food, and go. But oftentimes, more often than not, you were sitting, waiting, hoping the food is ready when you got there. And that was not necessarily the case. You could be there 20 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. And luckily, I had Thomas, driving and kind of dropping me off. Was able to circle the block. But on the days when I was by myself, or if you do it by yourself, it's going to be hard to find parking. You're paying for parking for that time. You can't be double parked that whole time. So it's really a hassle as far as that.
Yeah, I would say DoorDash is one of those apps. If you do have a buddy or a mate or whatever, do it with them, because if you live in a big metropolitan city like Atlanta, New York, San Francisco, Orlando, anywhere like that where parking sucks.
Especially in Atlanta.
Especially in Atlanta. You can't park anywhere for 5 minutes. The police will tell you to move. The rent-a-cops will tell you to move. Everybody will tell you to move. That kind of takes the dash part out of DoorDash. So, having 2 people, somebody kind of circle the block or a legal park so you don't get towed or something, really helps. Major key. Yeah, major key. So, what would be the number 2 thing?
Number 2 kind of flows from number 1, and that's like with DoorDash not really, I guess, glitchy, kind of like getting the orders to the restaurant when they needed to be there. So a lot of times,
or it's the restaurant staff. We haven't clarified whose fault is it, but I'm watching you.
Because it's an iPad that they sit next to their register, and that's where the orders come up. So I don't know if the cashier, whoever. A lot of times when I was going to places, DoorDash was kind of like a pain in the side to the employees. Kind of like, oh, you here with DoorDash? All right, stand over there. So I don't know if it was just they weren't paying attention or what. But either way, that causes you to have to wait because you're thinking when you're driving that the food is already getting prepared when it's not. You have to place. A lot of times I ended up having to place the order because either they didn't look at the thing. It's like, oh, it didn't come through. And now I have to look at my phone to read off what the person wants.
And another thing you got to consider too, if you do it during high times where food is popular, a lot of times the staff you run into is not that friendly to see. They don't give a crap. They're like, I have 50 people in front of me begging for their food, and you little app people need to wait. Yeah, definitely. And then sometimes not only is the restaurant full and packed, you're not the only app delivery company there. There'll be like 3, 4 other ones, or 3 or 4 people in the same company, and everybody's sitting there like, man, I need to go. My money's on the line. You're irritated because you need to hurry up because your tip is on the line, and they're irritated because they got real people in front of them and a bunch of people with different colored shirts saying, hey, I need my food. Yeah, exactly. Pain in the butt. Yeah. So the recap, number 1 would be?
Number 1 is the wait time at the restaurants.
Number 2 was?
Number 2 is the reason why the wait time is because of the app or whatever.
The app and the communication between the staff and DoorDash. So that brings us to number 3.
Customer service. So while you're
You have horrible customer service, DoorDash. Horrible.
And I can't speak from the customer side, but just from the DoorDash side, customer service is non-existent.
God.
Yeah, like, so while you're sitting there waiting for the food, you can pull up in the app where it says get help now or something. It should just be like get help tomorrow, because you're not getting help. Like, I literally did, this was probably the last time we did DoorDash, and I was standing there, I just had to cancel because I just was so frustrated because
nightmare stories.
It took them 15 minutes to even respond. Like, if you're on chat and we can just chit chat right now.
No,
why?
time out. They don't like you to call them.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
They don't like you to call them, and we actually know where the office is located in Atlanta, and we've been by the office to kind of talk to them, try to figure some things out. Nobody's ever in the office.
They were closed when it said they were open. So
yeah, during normal business hours, they were closed when they said they were open.
Like door locked.
And we were like, okay, yeah, this is not cool.
Yeah, so it is kind of like the one time I did actually have to call them on the phone, it is like an outsource of the country type situation. So that's, you know, that whole spiel anyway.
Now, shout out to my people out there in the call centers out the country. You know, you're doing your thing, but when you're in the rush, and you know, sometimes there could be different little barriers there, and it sucks because people, like I said again, these type of food delivery things are dependent on tip. You know, that's what you live for is the tip. So, and sometimes your tip is predicated on how fast you can get the food there. They don't care that the person at the restaurant didn't look at the iPad to get your orders ready. They don't care if traffic was bad. They don't care if they went to the busiest restaurant at the busiest time. All they care about is, hey, you didn't have my food in 2 minutes here. So, you know, the quicker they can streamline that process and customer service and all that cool stuff, the better our tip can be and the more, you know, we can dash.
Yeah, and make them more money.
And make them more money and help make us a little pocket change.
Yep.
Do we have a number 4?
Yes. Number 4 is the areas. So in DoorDash, you can pick the area in which you can dash basically in. So let's say I want to do Midtown. In my mind, I was thinking the restaurant would be in Midtown and the delivery spot would be in Midtown. But a lot of times, more often than not, you might be in Midtown picking it up, but you gotta go to Buckhead or East Atlanta to drop off. And that affects your profit because that's more gas, that's more mileage, that's more wear and tear on your vehicle. So that's eating into what little money you are making with it.
Yeah, and like another factor that goes along with dashing is, and any other type of delivery thing where you use your car, gas. So, you know, they did do an update because we tried it, you know, for a while one time, then we picked it up and tried it for a while a second time. And it seemed like they did get better at clustering their routes, but still, I don't know if they don't really know the geography of Atlanta that well, because you'll pick up in Buckhead and end up in South Atlanta, which is two opposite ends, and then the next order will be in Midtown, which is not close. So that's eating into your profit, and sometimes when you add it up, it's not really a profit.
Yeah, and if you hit decline, like now when we did it last time, they'll show you kind of like beforehand, but if you hit decline, that affects your rating with, you know, even doing it, so it kind of sucks either way.
So I would overall say that DoorDash is good in concept. It has hiccups, but you have to decide if you dedicate to doing DoorDash a lot from, you know, high times and in between mornings and nights and things like that. If you dedicate a lot of time, I think you could be really successful at it. If you constantly on the go, getting every order that you can, going to the high areas, even, you know, going to wherever the orders are ordering, then you could be really good at it. Mm-hmm. But if it's just something that you're going to do in between classes to pick up a couple orders, it's probably not going to work out for you. It's one of them things you got to dedicate a lot of time. It's not like a little side gig where you can, you know, jump. It's something that you're going to have to dedicate a lot of time to make a lot of money out of.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So yeah, guys, those are 4 things that we don't like about DoorDash. We actually have another video about the things we do like about DoorDash. So it's not all bad. So check those videos out and keep sharing, keep investigating, and keep side hustling. I'm Thomas.
I'm Taryn.
Peace.